Hello guys and welcome, my name's Arron Cooper. Welcome to a brand new video here today upon my channel guys. Today got a best class setup for you all, and this is on the RPR Evo SMG within Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, or better yet known for this best class setup, since I'm using the epic version, as the Ripper. And obviously you may remember the Ripper from Call of Duty Ghost. It was a great gun to use. It was a DLC weapon that they brought in, and I loved that gun back in the day. Back when Call of Duty Ghost was the main Call of Duty game, I remember being a season pass holder, getting early access to this weapon, and getting it gold camo within I think it was like a day or two, and I just spent so much time using this weapon. It was so good. But like I said, for this best class setup, you don't need to use any specific variants whatsoever. You can use a common, a standard version of this gun if you want to use the RPR Evo. It's the same gun, either way. It's still the same thing as the Ripper. But I see it as, for my best class setup, guys, like I said, you can use any variant you want. But I like to use an epic variant, and it's called the Ripper. Obviously, it changes the name of the gun. It's still the same gun as the RPR Evo, but just changes the name and makes it look more like a Ripper. But I see it as, for this particular epic variant, the reason why I like to use it is because of the abilities that this gun has on its epic variant side of things. And I see it as, for its first ability, you've got Reckless. Reckless increases the fire rate of this weapon. This gun already has an insane fire rate, and it increases it even more. So this gun's going to be deadly. For its second ability, you've got Focus. It reduces the idle sway when aiming down sights. So it helps keep your gun nice and steady, reduces the sway, so it helps to keep your shots more on target. And the reason why this gun is a very special weapon to many people out there, if you never play Call of Duty Ghost and you never use the Ripper, this gun is basically two weapons in one. Because one thing that Call of Duty Ghost did do really well with was that they made weapons that were like two weapons in one. For example, they released the Maverick AR, assault rifle within Call of Duty Ghost, and then there was like an SR version, which was a sniper rifle. And then with the Ripper, it was an assault rifle and an SMG hybrid. So basically you can switch between, on the go, of being a assault rifle when you aim down sights with the scope up, and as you can switch that back to an SMG mode. So basically it's two guns in one, an assault rifle and an SMG. That's why I like this weapon, because it's just so beast. So as that's why this weapon is a really good weapon to use. But anyways, let's jump into what attachments and stuff I like to use, and Asitas, so you know exactly what I like to equip upon this ripping machine. First of all, Asitas, I don't need to use any optics, because like I said, when you switch this gun from its SMG hybrid to its assault rifle mode, Asitas, it already has a scope on it. So if I ever want to use a scope on this weapon, I just switch it to assault rifle mode, and then switch it back when I don't want to use the assault rifle mode. So I don't need to save, I need to basically save that one slot, so I don't need to have a optic on this weapon. So let's move into the other attachments. We got a foregrip, which helps to keep the gun nice and steady and reduces the recoil on this weapon. So when you're aiming down sights, guys, and you want to keep your shots on nice and steady, this gun will help you do that, and especially with this attachment, because obviously the variant of this gun obviously keeps your gun from bouncing everywhere, keeps its idle sway together, so then the gun's steady, and then the recoil on this gun's been reduced. And I see it as the foregrip's going to keep your gun even more steadier, so it's going to be pretty much a really accurate weapon to use. For the next attachment, we've got Quick Draw. Quick Draw allows you to aim down sights a lot more quicker. And I see it as, so when it comes to having gunfights, if you and an enemy are coming face to face with each other, and I see it as he hasn't got a Quick Draw on, but you have, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win that gunfight, because you're going to be able to aim down sights a lot more quicker to lock onto that enemy to kill them, than an enemy who's trying to lock onto you with no Quick Draw is probably going to take a little bit longer, because when they're trying to aim down sights, it's going to be a little bit more slower. So Asitas, bear that in mind when you're having gunfights. Always equipped a Quick Draw, because you can aim down sights a lot more quicker. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to be winning most gunfights. And then for the third attachment, because this weapon has a ridiculous fire rate, and you find that bullets are flying everywhere, you're going to run out of ammo a lot more quicker. So I like to equip an extended mag. And it speaks for itself, guys. Each magazine holds more ammo. So it says more ammo means more bullets in your gun. More bullets in your gun means more people you can kill, right? So it's going to come pretty useful, and you can have some really, really insane streaks when you're using this weapon. Literally, I've gone on some mad gun streaks with it upon my Xbox One account. Sometimes I've used it on my PS4 account. I'm not going to lie, it's a great weapon to use. But obviously, as you guys all know, for the people who have been with me up on my channel for quite a while now, you know that my KD lies when it comes to Call of Duty up on my PlayStation 4 and not on my Xbox One. I see it as Xbox One's all about the recording side of things. PS4 is all about, you know, me do my own thing. As it is for my secondary weapons, I don't normally tend to use a secondary, but for this one, I find that every time I've used this weapon, and I've gone on to multiplayer, enemies are always using streaks a lot. Like, a lot of enemies are using score streaks like a UAV, a counter UAV, or better yet, things like a warden if I've jumped into it really late. So I always equipped a launcher as my secondary weapon, so I can take down these streaks and earn myself some additional score to help me to get my streaks a lot more quicker. So as it is, so what I use for this best class setup, I've used the Spartan SA3. You can use any launcher you like, guys, but I prefer to use the Spartan SA3 because it helps me to take down them UAVs and stuff whenever I want a little bit of an additional score. And then for my lethals, I like to use a particular one which is called the Black Hole Projector. Black Hole Projector is basically like a black portal sort of grenade, and what you do, say for example you got a lot of enemies, you're playing domination, there's a lot of enemies around in this particular area. Let's just say all the enemies have jumped onto B flag, and as stated, they're all trying to lock it down. It's in a tight little corridor area. You can run around the corner, chuck down your Black Hole Projector, or even two of them, chuck them down, and it's just going to suck them enemies up inside this little black hole thing, and it's going to give you some ridiculous score. As long as the enemies are near that, they're not going to get away from it. I've used it so many times upon hardcore, and as it is, I've had a lot of abuse from people who've been saying, oh, you're hacking, you're destroying my KD, and how did he kill all of us? You know what I mean? They're going absolutely mental. But as it is, it's a lot of fun to use, and I love to see people rage when I'm using it. I guarantee you guys, if you start using them and taking people down, you're going to make a lot of people rage. Trust me. I've even had it done to myself, and it makes me rage. But lucky for me, it's never on a video. That's a good thing, right? So yeah, I recommend using them, trust me. I do recommend it. For my perk 1 slot, I like to use Dexterity. Dexterity allows me to reload and switch my weapons a lot more faster. Because obviously since you've got a primary weapon and a secondary weapon, let's just say for example you didn't want to use the launcher and you want to switch it out. Say for example if you did want to put a scope on your weapon, that's what I would do as a backup option. But what you can do with Dexterity is, if you didn't, say for example you switched out the launcher during the game, and say for example you picked up an enemy weapon off the floor, and your Ripper didn't have much ammo in it and you wanted to switch your weapon, you can switch it to and from a lot more quicker than normal. So you can switch your weapons quicker and you can reload them a lot more quicker. That's why it's always good to use Dexterity. Moving on to the next perk now, we got Tracker. Tracker allows you to see the recent enemy trails even when they are cloaked. So even if an enemy is cloaked, you can see their footprints if they've been near you recently. So say for example, I ran into a room and enemies ran up the staircase on the left of me, and they were in that, literally running up that staircase around about 2 or 3 seconds before I entered that room. As I'm going to see their footprints leading up that staircase, so I know exactly where they've gone. So when I get up that staircase, I can pretty much predict exactly where they are. And I've done it to so many people before when I've seen enemy footprints and they've been near me or they spawn near me, and as it is, I just follow their footprints and boom, just taking them down. They're like, where'd you come from? How did you know where I was? It's because of Tracker, trust me. And then for the final one, guys, we've got Dead Silence, which obviously keeps your foot movement, basically your footsteps and your boost jumps and stuff, all silenced when you are playing multiplayer. Because obviously a lot of people these days are using headsets so we can hear exactly where you are. As it is with Dead Silence, no one's going to hear your footsteps, no one's going to know where you are, and the only time they're going to know where you are is if they've got a UAV in the air and you haven't taken it down, or when your gun's spraying loads of bullets at loads of enemies, because then you'll see on their minimap your location for a short brief of time. But yeah, that is my best class setup, guys, for the RPR Evo, aka the Ripper. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on what you think of this weapon and this best class setup. Do you like it? Do you not? Do you use this weapon? Let me know. And let me know down below in the comment section, did you really enjoy using the Ripper from Call of Duty Ghosts? Because I used to think it was a great weapon to use back in the day, and I might have to get round to using it sometime. I'll have to make a video on Call of Duty Ghosts sometime using the Ripper. But anyways, have a marvellous day, and I'll see you all again next time upon another brand new video. Until then, stay safe, and I'll see you all again next time.